but not much else. Get our favorite plays on the total sides, props, exotics, and futures to jump on now. So let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Subtitles and chemicals about the concept fairly known. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Let's get it started with Jason and
Hey. Thanks for starting your week with us here at WannaBet. We're a little earlier than usual. Beltway Ben, who we work together at 105.7 The Fan Radio in Baltimore, had to do the morning show today rather than the afternoon show with me. And hey, who doesn't want their bets a little bit earlier? And we've been grinding all weekend to get you guys what you need. Anyway, we hope you were with us through the weekend. With Ben and I, we've got Eric Casillas back with us. All he's doing is like winning 21 of every 23 bets he makes in the NBA these days. He's been with us a bunch of straight Mondays. He's absolutely crushed it. There you can see what EK has done with us so far in his previous meetings. He has set the bar very high. We hope to keep it there today. Yesterday was a very profitable day for us here, Ben and I. And look, we take this very seriously. We are constantly looking for advantages and edges in the betting market. And we're starting to cash in the Gold Cup, baby. And yes, I will be playing the Gold Cup pretty much on a daily basis from here on out. So we want to keep the hot streak going. If you're familiar with the show, first, second, third down, or if you're unfamiliar, I should say, we're going to give you our three best bets of the day from first to third. Third's our favorite play of the day. Third down in the NFL is the money down. That's where we're putting a little bit more of our money. Fourth and long, we will discuss the Washington Commanders and why I think collectively we think you should fade them. And we'll also look at the NBA Finals at a little more sort of macro level in overtime. The zigzag is held so far. Win-loss, between these two teams. Is it time for somebody to finally win consecutive games in the NBA Finals? Tonight, EK, thank you for joining us again. Little Birdie tells me that the Super Discord is almost like if one wing is flapping and the other wing's almost ready to flap.
It's ready today. So if you go to my at Fantasy EK Twitter, the link's right under my bio, and it'll take you right to the Super Discord, and you'll get all of my picks. And what's happening is my friends, including two guys I'm looking at, are going to be joining, and we're all going to be partners, and we are going to create the world's first super sports Discord where everybody's picks one-stop shopping. Why go hunt and peck everywhere? It's essentially going to be like what Travelocity or Expedia was when back in the old days, you had to go down to your travel agent or you had to go to each individual airline. Now it's all going to be in one spot.
Well, and I can tell you, we're obviously going to be doing the show and we're giving away picks for free here. But if you've watched this show at all, these lines are constantly moving. So the way I'm going to handle my picks with the Super Discord is like I will make at least one NBA bet, maybe two, within 30 minutes of this game ending tonight. Like, as soon as I go to my betting apps and find those bets and make those bets, I will then be going to the Discord and in real time putting those plays there. So, 12 hours later, sometimes 18 hours later, depending on when we get to this show that we love to do, things have changed. So I will be making my plays in real life, in real time on the Super Discord. And once I have that link, which will be today, I'll promote that obviously on the Twitter as well. EK, you as we saw on the graphic there, you have you're hitting at an alarming clip for us here on our little WannaBet show. You obviously have earned the honors to go first with the first pick of the week here. What do you like on first down?
Appreciate that. Look, you know that everybody has the way that they crunch their numbers and do their thing. And what I am a big believer in, especially in a series where you get matchup after matchup after matchup, is I play where median and mean are different. Now, I don't want to make the statistics lesson. That's not the point of this. The point is, though, is that averages are designed to fool you. Because if somebody goes 2, 2, 2, 9, they're going to average, 4.5 or so? But really, their median number is 2. They're more likely to go 2, and then I hammer the under. And that leads me to Miles Turner. Rebounds and assists, I'm going to go under 6.5. See, if you look at his average, he averages 4 rebounds and he's averaging 2 assists. So he's at 6.5. All right, they bumped it up a little. But let's look at the actual median. He's at 3 rebounds and 1.5 assists, which puts us at 4.5. And he's got to get to 7 to beat us. So when he is a predictive 4.5 and he's got to get to 7 to beat us, I'll jump all over that. And here's the thing. His minutes are incredibly standard. He plays 29 minutes every single game. He doesn't play more. He doesn't play less. He will play less if it's a blowout. So if OKC blows them out, which there's always a chance at home, then we even have a better opportunity to cash. So if he plays his normal number of minutes, we have an edge. And if he plays less than a blowout, we have a huge edge under 6.5.
I like it. Yeah, there's a reason our friends on these gambling apps, right, have now started to put the average, right, for some of these bets. Like if you look in the app, it'll have next to the guy's name the average. They're not giving you the mean. They're not giving you the mode. They're giving you the average. Beltway Ben, first down.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with a play that's relatively similar to something that I've run twice in the past 2 games, and now I'm gonna go with it again here. SGA for 32 plus points and the Thunder on the money line. Last time I went with 30 plus. He cashed last game, the game before they lost, so they didn't. And he also didn't have a big game scoring. But we saw the adjustments from Dagnall last game. He's coming off of more screens. They're doing different things. We've also seen his minutes change a little bit. They're giving him an earlier rest, so he's not worn out like he was later in the game. But he's got 32 plus points in 3 of 4 games this series. Both home games he went over it, and 6 of his last 8 games he's been over this. The Thunder have lost just 2 playoff games at home in the entire playoffs. And both were insane late runs that nobody saw coming, and I just don't see it happening again here. We saw Aaron Gordon hit the game-saving shot, and then we also saw Tyrese Halliburton do it. It happens. You lose a few there. But now with the series 2-2, I've talked about it a million times. That stretch that we saw, Obi Toppin has a big dunk. Indiana goes up 10. Everything's changed. I'm for sure that it's about to be a 3-1 series. Indiana is feeling that emotion now. They blow the game. They had a ton of opportunities to extend it to 12. It was a long scoring drought there. So the emotion and everything that they just dealt with there, blowing a 10-point lead at home, now having to go play at OKC, which is the toughest arena they've played in all year, especially given the hype of these games. I just think with these both situations, SGA is the best player on the basketball court, and they need him scoring, and he should do it. Thunder should win, and I can get it at minus 130. I wanted to do 30+, but the juice was too much. I'm trusting 32+ because he's done it almost as much as he's done 30+.
One of these games,
JLC, I'm mad at Ben.
He stole your. He got. It's good to double up.
No. I'm mad because that's better than mine. Like we just went out to dinner, the 3 of us, and we ordered our dishes, and then the plate showed up, and I'm looking at his. I'm like, that looks better than mine. Like what he just ordered is better than mine.
EK,
I'm totally stealing it.
Can I just tell you that would never happen in real life though, because Ben's a pretty picky eater. So I'm just gonna say, in real life, like, unless like you really like buttered pasta or something like that, like butter and cheese pasta, like my 18-year-old would eat. I'm just saying, we will break bread together. I mean, EK and I have, but if that happens, I would set the odds at. I'll give you plus 1,500 if you really want to eat something off his plate in real life. Like I feel pretty confident about that. And Ben, I'm with you. And again, we talked about this a lot before the series started with our friend Mackenzie Brooks from CBS Sportsline. You've got to really drill down on these teams home and road. OKC's offensive efficiencies at home and the playoffs are night and day from the road. During the regular season, there wasn't that big of a chasm. In the playoffs, there is. And we haven't seen this cat get to the line 12 times yet in a game.
Right.
That's going to happen at least once in this series. First down for me, we will go to the MLB, and we will go Yankees and Ben's Halos. Tough weekend for Ben's Halos. A tough weekend for my Royals. So we got that going for us. I'm going to go under on the first 5 here. Cronenworth looks like he's come back to earth, huh? Like, Ben Rice looks like he's kind of come back to earth a little bit. And Aaron Judge, newsflash, he's not going to hit 400 this year. And Aaron Judge is slumping. And I know they're getting excited about Stanton coming back. But this Yankees lineup right now is pressing. The quality at-bats have suffered. I think they kind of thought they were going to walk away with this division, and maybe they will. But They were due for some negative regression, and it's hit. What have they done at home this year? They're 21-12 to the under in first 5 run lines. Clark Schmidt missed a lot of time. I faded Clark Schmidt when he first came back. Not anymore. He's got a 2.9 ERA in his last 5 starts. The Halos offense, very hit or miss. That's an incredibly streaky team. Right now, the vibes don't look so great. They're not having quality at-bats. We know there's a lot of swing and miss there. And I do like Suriano on the road. Suriano gave up 7 earned runs in just over 3 innings at Fenway. His road ERA is still 3.19 on the season. He's getting 3 ground balls for every fly ball, which we know is huge in the Bronx. And if you look at the first 5 game scores with him on the road, there have been 3 total runs or less scored in 5 of his 8 road starts. So if you sneak around, look around right now, I think you can get that a little better than -110. If you hunt and peck, I know I've seen a -105 out there. I'm going to go under. All right, Beltway Ben, second down.
Yeah, second down, I'm going to stick to the NBA. I talked about it the other day with just playing small same-game parlays in games, and it's not a massive payout. A lot of people don't like it. Why am I combining 4 things to get even money? And it's something that I've done a lot, and it's been profitable, but I'm going to read it out. Yeah, I'll read it a couple times. SGA, 25-plus points. Siakam, 15-plus points. Jalen Williams, 4-plus assists. And Chet Holmgren, 6-plus rebounds. I'll read it again at the end, but for SGA's 25-plus points, I just talked about what he's done. 10 straight home playoff games. There's not much more explanation needed. Siakam is a guy that I liked heading into this series, and we do still have that long over 19.5 bet. Looking now, to get there tonight, we need 23. Line's 19.5. I think it's going to come down to that last game, which I expect to be the last game, game 6. But he's got 15-plus points in 13 straight games. This is a great matchup for him. SGA's been switching on to him, and they've been trying to attack SGA on the defensive end to kind of wear him out a little bit. Jalen Williams, 4-plus assists. This was the one that kind of got us to that plus money area. He's under this in 2 straight, but at home, he's been home at every home playoff game. He's went 4-plus assists, and that's been regular for him. I was all the way on his points, rebounds and assists at home in a few games, and he's been like 10.5 for rebounds, assists. But I do just think 4-plus is safe here. And then lastly, Chet Holmgren, 6-plus rebounds, 7 straight games he's had that. The line seemed mispriced early, so I'm not taking the 8.5, 7.5, which I do like, but I'm not taking that. Hartenstein's minutes have been odd. They're not playing him as much as he was before earlier in the playoffs. That's when things change for Holmgren on the glass. So 6-plus boards again. Even in those games where his line seemed mispriced and he was going under the number they were putting out, he still grabbed 6-plus boards in those games. Again, one more time, SGA 25-plus points, Siakam 15-plus points, Jalen Williams 4-plus assists, and Chet Holmgren 6-plus rebounds. That is plus 107. As I said before, the same game parlays, I know people want to see these big number parlays, but trust it.
A win's
like
a win,
it.
brother.
It's a smaller play.
A win's a win. Hartenstein is like this thing right here. He's a question mark. I'm out. I'm out on him. I don't know what Daniel thinks of him from game to game. So I'm out. All right, my second down. Ole, 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 ole. Let's do some footy. Yesterday I gave you 2 ways to play a small U.S. men's national team parlay. You want to take Malik Tillman anytime goal scorer and over 2.5 goals? Let's do it. You want to take Malik Tillman 2 or more shots on goal, over 2.5 goals in the game? You could do that too. They both hit in the first 40 minutes. I'm not saying I'm going to do that all the time, but I'm not saying I won't. So look, Canada's prohibitive favorite.
You lose him? You there, UK?
I hear you. He's frozen.
I froze for a second.
Jason. You froze there.
Yeah.
We got you back.
So anyway, look, this is not going out on a limb. Jonathan David is the best number 9 in this region. I don't think it's close. Raul's in really good form for Mexico, but I think this is Jonathan David's tournament. If you want to sprinkle on Jonathan David to win the Golden Boot, I would do so. He gets great build-up play from Kyle Larin and Alphonso Davies making those plunging runs, pillaging down the wing and delivering balls. This guy can score with his head on set pieces. He can score dramatic goals. He can score on bicycle kicks. He can score off the dribble. I'm very familiar with their coach, Jesse Marsh, who is very much a player's coach. He coached the club team I support at Leeds for a long time. Like, Jesse Marsh wants the players to love him. Jesse Marsh wants this tournament to be even more of a springboard for Jonathan David to get a massive transfer fee. Like, how did Jonathan David do in the 2019 Gold Cup? 6 goals in 4 matches. Not too shabby. He's got 9 goals in his last 18 World Cup qualifiers, which this tournament's a lesser caliber than that, and a lot of those are on the road, but that's a great strike rate for anybody. He scored 3 goals in 3 matches this year. He's faced Honduras 1 time. He put one in the back of the net there. He has 7 goals in his last 9 games for Canada. And this is the toughest group stage match for Canada by far. And I think they're going to want to put on a show. The U.S. put on a show against Trinidad. Mexico should have put on more of a show against Dominican Republic. Would not surprise me if Jonathan David scores more than once, but there's a lot of guys for Canada who can put the ball in the net. But for that payoff, I like this. Do I think Canada wins this match by more than a goal and a half? I do, but Honduras can get very stuck in. They can play a very physical style, and they're going to want to play this match complete polar opposite of how Jesse Marsh is going to play. So for me, this is sort of a conservative play, but I think Jonathan David scores 5+ goals in this tournament for sure. EK, second down.
I'm going to go to Jalen Williams, and I'm going to play him under PRA in the NBA Finals here, and he's at 34.5. There's a few constants with him that are shockingly consistent. He plays exactly 36 minutes a game, every game. He makes 1 3-pointer every game, and he gets 10 rebounds and assists every game. So if we sort of clear that off the deck, and again, you know, we may get less than 10 if it's blowout or he plays less or that kind of thing, but let's give him his usual compliment of what he's done. That means he's got to get to 25 points. And again, this game gets out of hand, we should be in good shape. But his median for the series is much lower than that. And when he's gone over, it's been because there's been a strange or weird coincidence. And you know, one of my betting philosophies is I bet against the weird happening in back-to-back games. He was 11 for 11 from the free throw line last game, and he needed that to get over this number. I don't think he's shooting 11 free throws again, and if he does, I don't think he's making all 11 again. He actually took just as many and actually one more shot last game than projected. So it wasn't like, okay, well, he got to the line 11 times, but his shots were down. No. His shots were constant. The thing that was the outlier was 11 free throw attempts and making all 11. I've highlighted that and targeted that. If he doesn't do that again, and I predict he will not, then he is going to have to well overperform somewhere else, knock down and go 2 out of 4 from 3-point range, which he doesn't really do, or take way more shots than usual. So I'm going to bet against him doing something exceptional that he is not projected to do. And if he doesn't, I'm going to win this bet. I'm going under 34.5.
I love it. And I love it in part because I'm hoping that helps lead to my third down bet, which is Lou Dort over 8.5 points. Now, you want to talk about weird things happening. OKC starts that game 2 of 16 from 3-pointers. Lou Dort drains one early in the game, makes his second shot of the game, has 5 early points, doesn't take another shot the final 40-some minutes of that game. Like, do I think that's going to happen again?
I had Lou Dort over 7.5 in that game. It was my loss.
I had him over 1.5 threes.
Appreciate you, buddy.
Yeah, I had him over 1.5 threes. So, like, to EK's earlier point about beware of averages, okay, you can look at the average and say, like, he's in the playoffs right at, like, 8.1 points. But I can tell you this, he's over this total in 6 of the 9 he's played at home. And when you go back and look at the games where he's sort of faded out of the offense or he's focused so much on the defense that he didn't look for a shot, or like this last game, even though he's been in great form, he's shooting 61% from 3 in the series, he looked to pass. Okay, so let's go back to game 4 against Memphis. He's 0 for 4 from the floor. Next game out, game 1 against Denver, 14 points. Go to game 1 of the Western Conference Finals against Denver. He shoots just 4 times from the floor, makes 2 shots. Next game, 9 points in game 2. Game 4 of the Western Conference Finals, 1 for 3 from the floor. Next time out, game 5, 12 points. Game 2 of this series, where he was just 1 of 3 from the floor. Next time out, game 3, 12 points. So I'm banking on that holding. I'm banking on a guy who, again, does have 4 3-pointers made in one game this series. I think had 3 3-pointers made in another game this series. Would not shock me if he gets this on threes alone, but this is the only prop I've played for this game, player prop that I played tonight. A lot of team props I gave you earlier in the week, including one of which is going to dovetail with EK. And EK, let's go there right now. What do you have third down?
Yeah, I like Oklahoma City first half team total over. Now, it has moved away in the wrong direction from us since I actually, discovered this yesterday. So that 165 is now about 180, to be honest with you. So if you want to get it down in that 150 range, you either have to move to 55.5 to get to that price, or you're going to have to pay up to about $1.80, because I'm not going to give you a bet you can't make. Me saying, hey, I played this several hours ago, you can't get it, doesn't do anybody any good, right? That's not what we're about. So,
but EK, I'm going to say this. Let me jump in real quick, because if you were on the stream with us yesterday, you could still get OKC over 56.5 at minus 130.
Yeah.
So I gave that out. You know what I mean? I gave that out yesterday on stream. So that's why we're on a lot of these games early. Now, that's still a couple points higher, but the way this moved, even to get the 56.5 is you're over $1.50. So I didn't mean to cut you off, but
no.
Listen,
you and I can cut each other. We have conversations all the time. I love it. It's just feedback, baby. Exactly. We're saying the same thing. So the idea is, I'm going to stick at 54.5, and I'm going to pay it up. Because even if I get in near, and I don't bet a lot, I never really go. My rule of thumb is I never really go to $2 unless I'm really just like, hey, I'm locking it in. But $1.80, that's like a 63% implied percentage. I think there's a greater than 63% chance that OKC is going to be over, get 55 or more in the first half. We're going to have something weird for that not to happen. They are an offensive wagon at home. And I think they make adjustments here. I think they have energy. I think this is their best first half of the entire series here. This is not so much me breaking down median and mean. This is me being an athlete, knowing athletics, being a coach, having coached, watching the series, and you sort of look into the eyes of your guys and you know what you're going to get. And this, I think, is going to be a very up-tempo, all right, let's stretch the legs first half. And I think Indiana, with Rick Carlisle, is clearly showing you they want to play the long game here, right? Their idea is, let's tire OKC out.
Yeah.
It's almost like a horse race. If they want to run fast early, we'll run with them, and then we're going to catch them on the back stretch.
Fourth quarter, yeah.
Right. And
that's
so
how they
that's
won.
what they're like, fine, you want to run early? Let's run early. So let's take advantage of that. Let's isolate that. Let's take the home team wagon at home in a game script where it should be up and down, and the total is not that bad if we get it down to 54.5. OVER. And I don't play a lot of overs, but this is what I like.
I'm right there with you, brother. Beltway Ben.
I'm going to stick with this NBA game here. I'm going to go with Aaron Nesmith over 15.5 points and rebounds at minus 130. He's over this in 3 of 4 games this series and 9 of 10 road playoff games for this team. He's a different beast. Like he enjoys this. He's one of those jailbreak players who's aggressive, going after the ball in the glass, looking to score. We know how good of a shooter is. Took 15 3-pointers in the first 2 road games of the series and knocked down 8. He likes this situation a lot and doesn't get knocked off by the crowd. And he's one of those players built for it. I agree. I know how clutch Tyrese Halliburton is. I'm not trying to knock what he is. However, this is not a good matchup for him. You look at his number, 16.5. It's just a weird number. I didn't play it, but I think he's going to get shut down. I think he's going to run into some issues. They're going to need one of their other guards to step up and knock down some threes. Still don't think they have a chance in the game, but I do like Aaron Nesmith to explode a little bit and have a good showing here. Just give it like 9 of 10 road games. That is different. Like that is a non-normal thing. And also, when you look at most of their runs, the big runs that they've had, not Siakam, it's not Halliburton. Most of it is the little guys, McConnell. You have Obi Toppin doing crazy stuff. Like they are getting their role players are really stepping up for him. And I think that'll continue here. 15.5 with the history that he's had and how good he's been on the road is too low for me.
Excellent. All right, that brings us to fourth and long, where we discuss bets that won't be paid off for a long term, or bets that have some long odds. We're going to talk about the Commanders here, and their win totals set around pretty much everywhere at 8.5. They're about minus 140 to make the playoffs. As you see, you can get them as high as plus 130 to miss. To win the division is paying around, I think, 3-1. We've already discussed that on the show. We think the Eagles are going to hold serve and break that trend where the same team hasn't won the NFC East back-to-back years since the Eagles in 01 to 04. EK, how vociferously do you want to fade the Commanders? I know you want to fade the Commanders, but like, is this like top 5, top 8 NFL future bets fade the Commanders? Like, whale fade the Commanders? Like, what are you thinking?
I'm definitely fading the Commanders, but to give you an old school 80s movie reference that Ben will have no idea what we're talking about, I'm more like Billy Ray Valentine in Trading Places at the end in the Flowers and Orange Juice concentrate market when it comes to Jaden Daniels. I'm going to be like, as soon as they post his numbers, I'm going to be sprinting to the window to bet unders on him across the board. But I'm off the Washington Commanders, and I'm really off their offensive production and off their quarterback coming back. You're going to have to tell me that sophomore slumps aren't real, and they're real. And there's about 8 different things that could result in a sophomore slump for this team. A lot of things went right. I'm talking about Hail Marys. Yeah. I'm talking about the schedule. Arizona, Cleveland, Carolina, Chicago, which was that Hail Mary. Dallas late twice when Dallas was a grease fire and didn't have a quarterback anymore as opposed to playing him early. I mean, everything fell in their lap last year. Now this year, Kansas City, Detroit, Miami.
At
Denver,
Green Bay.
Chargers, Green Bay, on and on and on and on and on.
At Minnesota, EK, at Minnesota late in the year, right, when McCarthy might be a thing.
That's exactly right. The schedule is not going to do them any favors. Plus, I look at Daniels last year. 480 pass attempts, 148 rushes on a guy who is an absolute baller. I don't question the talent, but I don't know about the durability.
Spindly.
I don't know how he's going to hold up year 2, getting whacked around 17 weeks, which doesn't happen in college, which has never happened in his life. In an off season where you can't tell me that guy hasn't been patted on the back a few times and been comped a few free meals. And now he's just going to get whacked around 17 straight weeks again and just get up after taking, 250 hits on a guy who's not a big dude in terms of broad shoulders. I got to see it. I'm willing to pay to find out. And if he does and is even better this year, I'll shake his hand and take my L. But if history is any guide for us, it says it doesn't happen again to this number. It will not. How many times do you have to be shown what happened sophomore year before you believe in it? So give me the under on Daniels, and I will fade a very proud fan base who I respect, but I got to take it where the numbers take me, and it takes me to the under. I will limbo lower.
Well, wait, Ben, get this man a chocolate milk. If I had a meal to buy you right now, I'd give you half of Ben's PB&J sandwich. I would gladly give you half of his PB&J sandwich. Look, I can't say it any better myself. I do wonder if they go over the win total and get to 9 but still miss the playoffs. Like, I'm much more interested in playing them to miss the playoffs than I am trying to thread a needle on the win total. Like, because I think Philadelphia's winning this division. I think Green Bay is better than them. Like, Tampa's, if Baker stays healthy, I think is better than them, and somebody's got to win that division. Like, in the West, I could see the West sending 3 teams to the playoffs. Like, I could see the Rams, San Francisco, and Seattle all going. Like, I don't think much of Dallas, but, like, I could see Dallas splitting with Washington and that being a tiebreaker that keeps Washington out. Like, Detroit, we all think is going to regress, but don't we – like, I think Detroit could finish with one more win than the Commandos. Like, I kind of feel a little better about the NFC than the AFC when you start getting below the top 4 teams. Are you guys with me on that?
Yeah, and you get better odds. You're getting plus 130 to miss the playoffs. I mean, why would
Right.
you
Why
take
mess
that
around with the
8.5
win total?
under? Because why not? I mean, I'm with you. You're giving me something I think is more likely to happen, and you're giving me better odds. I'm with you. I would take miss the playoffs over going under the win total.
Yeah, I'll be playing it as well. And I mean, I honestly think the Cowboys finish ahead of them in standing. That's just me.
They might.
And you guys just mentioned all the main points. So I'm like EK, Billy Ray Valentine and the lemonade stand. However, I didn't catch the whole thing there. I'm going there.
Yes, I'm glad
And
you're
by
with
the way,
us.
you guys are there. What's it going to be like if by chance, just by chance, they were to ever lose week 1 at home to the Giants? Because I'm up here in
It could happen.
New York area, and they are all circling it and saying
Giants.
they're going to already be looking at week 2, and we're going to pick them off. Could you imagine they get picked off week 1?
Giants might have 7 sacks in that game. I'm not a big Cliff
1,000%.
Kingsbury guy. I don't love his protection schemes. I don't love their offensive line.
And the Giants generally play well against one damn team in the whole league, and it's Washington.
Right, and they'll slow that game down, try to make it ugly, and they very well could do that.
Yeah, they might be able to. All right, overtime. We're going to finish with the NBA Finals because obviously it's the biggest sporting event going on right now. So we're going to play some Trender Ben, EK's favorite game. If we're following the trend, then we're going with the leg warmer posse here. And, oh, my goodness, I thought I had all my props here, but I might have lost my Radiohead. If we're not going with the trend, then we're going to the – you got it. There we go.
Radiohead.
Then we're going to the Bends. Radiohead, the Bends. Maybe a top 10 album made in the last 50 years. So we've had a zigzag series here, guys, right? We the same team has not won yet. And there's a lot of people who bet the NBA playoffs just off zigzag, and they follow that formula regardless of the series, and they do okay with it. EK, a few weeks back, said, look, the value play to bet this series is to bet the Pacers. And if you're betting the Pacers, then bet that this thing goes at least 6 games. So if you did that with him, you've already made some money, and you've got a chance to really cash because, as we recall, it was like 6 or 7 to 1 on the Pacers to win this series. But can any of us get behind them tonight? And I'm a big Pacers guy, but I don't like them in this spot based on where the game's being played and based on the way they lost that last game and based on the fact that I don't think OKC has played an A game yet, and they still have a chance to take a stranglehold on this series.
Yeah. I'm going with the Bends here. Again, the top 10 album all time. I've never heard it, but I'm sure it is.
Just trust me. Listen to it and trust me.
I just don't see how Indiana goes. And I keep talking about the emotion. Like, they had the game in their hands. They were at home. They had the crowd behind them. They were doing somewhat of a fine job stopping SGA. All of a sudden, Dagnall adjusts. Things change. And here come the Thunder looking like the Thunder we've seen. And now you're giving me them at home after stealing the one on the road. Listen, if OKC, I talked about it last game as well, and it was kind of scary for a little bit. If OKC loses this game, they're losing this series. They're going to go to Indiana, down a game, and they really have not played well in Indiana. They got game 2, and it was a great fourth quarter. But before that, they weren't playing great. They weren't playing their game. At home, that's a whole different story. They played great basketball. Dagnall's defenses played tremendous at home compared to on the road. They're going to get after it. They're going to force turnovers. And one thing, I mentioned it in the last one, or last stream, I like the assist, their team assist in this game. I think they're a little bit better moving the ball around, finding the open guy, and knocking down open shots at home. So I don't see Indiana having a shot in this one.
I'm looking at, people throw these numbers around. I mean, I know you guys obviously understand it, but people say plus 320, plus 400, plus 500. I always like to try to every once in a while quantify what that means. So plus 320, it's basically an implied percentage of 24%. I don't think Indiana wins 1 out of 4 of these types of games. I just don't. Yeah. I mean, it's probably 1 out of 5. Like, it's not – this is a very good line. This is a sharp line for me. I'm not going anywhere near the money line. I told you I don't play a lot of favorites, but I did play OKC money line and gave that out at minus 205 last game out. Because I'm like, I think I make it about a 77% chance they win, and I only have to buy it at essentially 68%. That's enough of a margin where I'm going to jump it. Here, 24%. That porridge, that feels about right to me. It's not too hot, it's not too cold. So I'm going to stay out of this game. I'm sorry I can't give you a better, I like the trend, I like the bend, but, like George Carlin said, he was a comedian, Ben. No comment is a comment. You know what I mean? So my no comment is a comment. I think this line is too sharp. And like Kramer and Seinfeld, that was a TV show in the 90s, Ben.
I did know that. I that one I know. I know that one.
Yeah, you should Google. What is it? The 7 words you can't say?
Archaic references from the 80s, 90s, and 2000s just until I can, until we get off air.
Yeah, I would like to back the trend. And again, there you go, EK. One last hurrah. And I lost my Radiohead prop.
Let's
I'll
get
have to
physical.
look around and find it. But no, I can't go there. The way I would play this, thank you, Ben. Again, OKC to win the first half. Take the line down to 4.5. OKC over the 54.5 or 56.5 in the first half. They're scoring 62 per game in the first half in the playoffs. They're outscoring teams 62 to 46.5 in the first half of playoff games at home, first half. So that's where we are. EK, we will have you back Monday. EK, again, the Super Discord the link is already in your X.
Yep, you just go to my X or Twitter or wherever you're calling it by the end of business on Friday, and right underneath it clicks it, and you go from there, and you get right in there, and you get all of my picks. There will be 7 up. I believe I have 7 picks that going up for tonight's game.
Excellent. Ben and I will be back tomorrow, probably at noon. We think at noon. It'll be at noon. With Ryan Horvat from the BetMGM Network. We got a great show planned from there. We hope everybody enjoys the finals tonight. Go Canada. Oh, Canada. And we will see you guys tomorrow.